Hello grade 6 again, this is Mr. Mahmoud and we are having a new lesson, the second lesson of this fourth quarter. It is governments of the world. We are having different types of government around our world. We will know them one by one and let's start. People form governments to make laws, regulate businesses and provide aid to people. So, if I will ask you, why do we form governments? Why it's important to form governments? You will tell me to make laws, to regulate businesses, and to provide aid to people. That's why it is important to form a government. We will talk about the first type of government, which is democracy. What is democracy? It is a form of government in which the people elect leaders and rule by majority. So we are people in one country. We will elect leaders and these leaders will rule us by majority. Most democracies protect people's rights to freedom of speech, religion, and free press. In democracy, or these countries which have democracy, peoples will be protected. They can have the freedom to believe in whatever religion they like. They have the freedom to talk and say whatever they want to say. And there is, of course, free press. It means all these newspapers will write whatever they want write. No one will tell them what are you writing, that's right, that's not wrong. They will have freedom for everything. They can talk of freedom of speech. They have the freedom to protect their rights and religion and free press. So if I will ask you what rights are protected in most democracies, you will tell me people's rights to freedom of speech, religion, and free press. What is democracy? You will tell me form of government in which people elect leaders and rule by majority. Very well. We will talk about the second type of government, which is monarchy. Monarchy. The plural is monarchies. Monarchies. It is ruled directly by a king or queen who holds all the power. Here there is no democracy. There is a king or a queen, and the king or the queen have all the powers and they hold in their hands all the powers. They make laws, they put leaders, they choose leaders, they do everything. The second type is dictatorship. Dictatorship. It's also ruled by a single person. One person ruled the country. But there is negative thing about the dictatorship. This person, who is called dictator, hold the power and often rule by force. So in dictatorship, there is also one single person. He is not a king, he is not a queen, he's a normal person, but this person, for example, is very strong. He has maybe very strong army. And he hold also all the power alone, and he rule by force. He forced people to rule them. The fourth type of government, which is communism. Communism. And that's the symbol of communism. It is a system in which the government owns all property and dominates all aspects of life in the country. So if I ask you guys, what is communism? Also form of government or system in which the government owns everything. If you will ask me, in communist country, do you have anything? No. The government owns everything. They have everything. And they dominate even all aspects of life. And in most communist states or countries, the people have restricted rights and little freedom. Not Like the democracy, they have more freedom, but in communist countries they have restricted rights and little freedom. So again, I'll say them all one by one. Let's start from democracy. Democracy is form of government in which people elect leaders and rule by majority. Very well. The second one is monarchy. Monarchy is king or queen, and they hold all the power. Dictatorship, one single person also hold all the power, but he rule by force. You will tell me what is the difference between dictatorship and monarchy. Monarchy is king or queen, and if the king has a son, later the son will be the king, and the people will be submitted for this idea that he has a crown prince and later he will be a king. But dictator is not a king, and he is not a son of the king or a daughter of a king. He is normal person, but he is too strong, or he has very strong army and he rules by force. The last one is communism. Communism is a system in which government owns all property and dominates all aspects of life. And unlike democracy, the people have restricted rights and little freedom. Now we will talk about four important things. They are the four types of industries. We will talk about the industries, and it's very important to know about them and to know how they shape and form our industrial life. The first one is primary industries. Primary industries. It provides natural resources to other through work such as farming, fishing, and mining, as we see here in the picture. So primary industries, they are making the raw materials. They are making the farming, they are getting the fishing and mining. Alright, that's primary industry. Secondary industry use raw materials to manufacture other products such as automobiles or furniture. So that's secondary industry. We will take these raw materials like iron, for example, from primary industry, because there is mining. So people will get the iron from primary industry and they will give it to the people who work in the secondary industry, and they will work on it, manufacture it to be maybe furniture or automobiles, cars, telephones, and so on. Alright? Tertiary industry. What is the tertiary industry? It exchange what was here in secondary industry, goods, services, through retail stores, healthcare and educational organization, and so on. So we can find in tertiary industries goods and services, not only goods, because healthcare is a service. Educational organizations is also a service. So tertiary industry, we will exchange what was manufactured in secondary industry with what? With the retail stores, healthcare, educational organizations. Quaternary industry, and that's the last one. What is the quaternary industry? It involves workers such as architects, lawyers, scientists who research and distribute information. So all these industries, what create jobs, what create people, like universities. How I will be policeman, I will join faculty of police, and this is quaternary industry. How I will be a doctor, I will join the faculty of medicine and I will become doctor. So quaternary industry brings people to work, and it provides more jobs for the people, and it form all these jobs what we know: lawyers, scientists, architectures, and so on. And they research and distribute information. So I will say them quickly again. Primary industry, it brings natural resources like farming, fishing, mining. Alright? We will take what what we take from here, farming, fishing and mining, and we will start to manufacture them here in secondary industry to make anything that we manufacture, like automobiles, furniture, telephones, all these things. Then we will take what was manufactured here and give it to retail stores, exchange goods and services through retail stores. Not only goods here in tertiary industry, also services like healthcare, educational organization. The last one, quaternary industries, involve workers such as architects, lawyer and scientists, and I told you all this form of jobs, work are in quaternary industries and distribute information. We have two types of economy. We have market economy and command economy. Again, market economy and command economy. In a traditional economy, people make and use their own goods with a little exchange of goods. That's before. In very ancient civilizations, people didn't have money. They used to exchange things with each other. But we will talk now about first market economy. It is based on free trade, competition. People buy and sell as they wish, and prices are determined by supply and demand. So in market economy, market takes all decision for itself. I mean, people who are buying and selling. Based on what? Based on free trade. People can, in this market economy, you can sell what you want. You can decide for yourself. I will have supermarket, I will have cloth store, I will have shoe store, and so on. So that's free trade. And competition. People buy and sell as they wish, and prices are determined by supply and demand. How this determined? Alright, there is nice telephone. For example, let's say Samsung telephone. All the people like it so much. All the people want to buy it. And that makes something very important, that the price of this Samsung telephone will be higher. Why? Because all the people like to buy it. But what if this Samsung telephone, people start to use it and later it's not popular like it was, so the price of it will go down, will be lower price, because the demand of this product goes down also. Let's talk about the second type of economy, which is command economy. Here, the government decides what to produce and what prices will be. So in market economy, there is freedom. Market decides everything. People decide what to buy, what to sell, prices. It's depend on supply and demand. But in command economy, it's different. Government decide everything. Government decide what to produce and what prices will be. I hope you understand. There is some universal definition we will have now. It's very important also to know it. It's one measure of economic development, which is gross domestic product, or GDP. That's the contraction. The value of all goods and services produced within a country in a single year. Again, the value of all goods and services produced within a country in a single year. Alright, I'll give you an example of our beautiful country, Egypt. Let's say in 1 year, 2019, we have produced a lot of goods, a lot of services. What is the value of all these goods and services we produced in 2019? Let's say, for example, 7 million Egyptian pound. So 7 million Egyptian pound is the value of all what we produced from goods and services in 2019. And this is gross domestic product. Other ways include the level of industrialization and quality of life. We will talk also about two economical countries or type of countries. They are the developed countries, as we see in this picture, developed countries, and developing countries, as we see in this picture. And let's know each one of them. Developed countries. They have strong, wealthy economies and high standard of living. It means they have technology. They are advanced in everything, in housing, jobs, living, buildings, and everything. But developing countries have poor economies and lower quality of life. That's very important, guys. About 2/3 of the world's people live in developing countries. It means this kind of countries, developing countries, more than twice the developed countries. If I will ask you, which countries more in our world? Is it the developed countries or developing countries? You will tell me, of course, developing countries. So, in developing countries with poor education and little access to health care or telecommunication. Guys, that's page 39 in your box, and it's very easy exercise. We will just now look at each set of 4 vocabulary terms on the line provided. Write the letter of the term that doesn't relate to the others. Alright, let's read them one by one. Communism, dictatorship, democracy, command economy. The first 3 are different forms of government, and the last one is form or type of economy. So the right one is D, which is not related to the others. Number 2, market economy, democracy, traditional economy, command economy. Of course it is, yes, democracy. Why democracy? Democracy is a form of government, while all the others, A, C, D, are types of economy. Number 3, developed countries, dictatorship, developing countries, economy. Of course it is, dictatorship. Why? Also it is form of government, but all others are aspects of economy. Number 4, gross domestic product, GDP, manufacturing, industrialization, government. Which one of them? Of course it is government. Government is the different one, so it is D. I will let you write number 5 and 6. That's like your assignment for today. What is the democracy and what is the communism? Thank you very much for your listening. Stay fine and have a good time.